What is the real reason that Claressa Shields doesn't like Remy Ma? Now, this has been going on, and in my opinion, unfortunately, spoiler alert, it does not have a happy ending. So in this video, I want to prepare you. I have an actual theory as to what actually transpired, what I believe is going on. So allow me to unpack why I believe Claressa Shields is really mad at Remy Ma. Let's get unpacked. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpacked. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, this particular video, I do have a PSA. Pay attention. The thoughts, the views, and expressions contained in this video are that of my own. 100% what I believe to be the case, and the real reason and my theory on what went wrong and what's going on. And follow it to the end, because like Kendrick said, the rabbit hole gets deep. So without further ado, let me jump into it. So first of all, for my theory, it started off with the question. You guys who follow the channel, you know what's going on, right? I was racking my brain to try to even understand, why would Claressa Shields even be mad at Remy Ma? And I think you, the viewers at home, got to ask that same question, right? Let me explain. Remy Ma is the one that did a bid. There were reports that Papoose held it down. Other reports say he messed around on her while she was locked up. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But the bottom line is, they had the whole black love. They were a unit. They were a couple, right? So she's the wife that spent all of these years with him. Claressa Shields was in her inbox, kind of befriending her. She put out and leaked a tweet saying that she gave Claressa advice or tips, and Claressa had been a fan. That whole part didn't make sense to me. Why would the wife not be mad, right? Why would you be mad? You recently kind of got involved with him, allegedly, right? And you seemingly were cool with Remy in her DM, and now you're running around with her husband because the divorce hasn't happened. So I'm like, that don't really make sense to me. So I think a good starting point would be to take it back to what Remy initially said when she first exposed. And keep in mind, all of this stuff is messy and is public knowledge. Remy had this to say. Papoose responded. At a point, Claressa was responding. So it was this whole kind of triangle thing of people outing each other. So you got to sift through it to find what you believe. So in her Instagram social media rant, she basically said she feels sorry for old girl, meaning Claressa Shields, right? Play the clip.
The truth, you will probably literally, like, people will cry if they knew the truth. Like, literally cry. Like, cry. I look at it now, and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her. But
I feel sorry for old girl. She's talking about Claressa.
Because I know the circles that's being ran and wrapped around over there. Like, I would cry. I feel bad. Stop calling me.
Again, I feel bad because I know the circle's being wrapped around. So you have Remy Ma who did this initial video, right? And she's saying, if you knew the half of it, you would cry. I feel bad for old girl, right? She continued in this live saying stuff like Papoose pawned some of her items. And she said that she's the one that checked out and left because this was getting crazy and it wasn't working anymore. And she would tell Claressa to run. All of these things she said. You guys can find the clip on the internet. But I think that's a great starting point for my theory when it comes to this. I believe that Remy Ma was truly over the whole relationship, right? And I'm not even going to get to semantics of who cheated first and all that. I don't care. I think as a woman, she had checked out of the relationship. And I now believe for sure she was warning Claressa Shields. But Claressa, in my opinion, is young-minded, naive, and she is experiencing puppy love, we'll call it. So she got herself into some mess that now it's going to be hard to get out of, right? And I'll tell you my overall theory right now because I don't want to waste any of your time. But to continue going down the rabbit hole, you got to follow this video to the end. My theory is this. Ultimately, pride comes before the fall. I believe that what it boils down to is Claressa Shields did not want to believe Remy Ma, did not want to believe her friends, Nigeria, did not want to believe her cousin, who've all said relatively the same thing. Papoose is using you, right? And she instead floored it, being young-minded, being naive, maybe never having a public celebrity boyfriend. And now, in the words of DMX, you in some ish you can't get out of, right? And now you're in too deep. And I think, like I said, pride comes before the fall. So now you're in between a rock and a hard place. You didn't listen to your cousin. You didn't listen to your ex-best friend. And you didn't listen to the wife, Remy Ma. So you're kind of trapped. Do you listen to your intuition and gut feeling as far as what's going on and pull the plug on it? Because if you do, if you pull the plug on this relationship publicly, all of those people, Boxingego included, that said, hey, something is fishy about this. This is not looking right. Remy Ma, your cousin, Nigeria, ex-best friend, all these people, the internet will now be right. So that's the pretense of my theory is Claressa is a fighter. Fighters by trade, being a boxer, you're defiant, you're stubborn, never back down type of attitude. So she picked a battle that was much different than being in the ring. In the ring, she's undefeated. Nobody's been able to see her. But this battle you got yourself into is absolutely causing your career to nosedive. And because you accepted this battle and accepted these terms, you want to finish the fight, even if you're wrong, even if you feel you're wrong, because you know if you pull the plug or if y'all break up, then boom, instantaneously, everybody that tried to warn you now becomes right. And you got to wear that scarlet letter. That's ultimately what I believe. But I'll continue telling you and going down the rabbit hole with factual information. And I really could have been an investigative journalist. What I've uncovered, again, you got to follow this thing through. It gets trippy. Now, let's continue listening to the initial Remy warning video where Remy is stating she has never met a woman that the man was providing both emotionally, financially, and then the girl just said, you know what, everything's perfect. I don't want none of that. Play the clip.
I dealt with it. I ain't never met a bitch. I've been waiting for somebody to just use a little bit of common sense. I ain't never met a female who has a perfect dude that takes care of her, helps her financially, emotionally, physically, is there for you, treats you like this wonderful thing, right? And you just say, you know what? I don't care. Fuck this whole shit. Who does that? Nobody. Oh, everyone looks so much happier now. Girl, man, don't nobody fall in love faster than somebody with nowhere to stay. The I literally told him, every time your current come up says my name or does something that I feel is trying to attack me in any type of way, I'ma drag you.
Notice she's referring to Claressa Shields, the $8 million woman, as a come up. You guys got to pay attention to these details. So all in all, Remy, I think, was warning Claressa, but because Claressa, again, we'll call it puppy love, was so sprung on whatever she felt she had with Papoose, she's only listening to his side, and his side probably painted Remy as a scorned, crazy, jealous wife that wants him back, right? And over time, we're going to see which one it is. But I don't believe that to be the case with Remy. I think she was actually done. She also said in this video that we have not slept in the same bed since 2022. And she chose to leave and pull the plug. She mentioned he has a gambling addiction in videos and he pawned her stuff, and she's going to drag him if Claressa continues to hurl insults. So you can already see this thing starting to take shape. Notice Remy said that no one falls in love quicker than a man that's pretty much has nowhere to go. No options, right? Claressa keeps bragging about this $8 million deal. She's using your name and calling you a come up, right? So she put out this text and it says, all I did was stop paying and all heck broke loose. Look at him, emotional. Now, another thing I think was telling when you had this back and forth releasing of the text is Remy was almost a bit villainous with it and having fun, saying some jokes, while Papoose, he was writing these long, detailed explainers. And from my perspective, a lot of times when people over-explain, they're the guilty party. They're the particular party that is trying to smooth it over, if you will. So case in point, here's a sample of what Papoose was actually putting out there, right? You see how long these messages are. Now, I personally believe Papoose to be a narcissist. Remy Ma was on Drink Champs saying that Papoose puts himself as a rapper in his own top 5 dead or alive. You're not even top 5 out of New York, in my opinion. So that just sounds crazy, right? Notice, I believe that Papoose and Claressa are both narcissists. That's why they're a match made in heaven. A lot of what she really addressed, he doesn't really have a direct response for, right? Like she said, you've been pawning my stuff. I can prove it. And I got the pawn shop receipts. Don't make me show it. So from what I've seen, he don't really respond to stuff like that. But he says, sad to say, Remy Ma is a narcissist. She chose to cheat repeatedly. Now that I have finally moved on, she playing victim. I have requested a divorce numerous times, but this happened over a year ago and both of y'all aren't divorced yet. She rather clout chase on social media than handle this like civilized adults. I did not want to do the social media foolishness, but he's partaking in it by even putting these long explainers. For the sake of my 6-year-old baby, she has to go to school. Again, that's a narcissist trick. Making yourself seem like the victim and the bigger person. Like, I didn't want to do this publicly. I wanted to handle it like adults. What about our kid? Bringing other people into it. She has to go to school. As you can see, I remain quiet through all this. But you're speaking now. If you didn't want to do it on social media, you didn't really have to, but you chose to partake in it too. Then Papoose says, falsifying fake and obviously edited text and pictures that are one-sided with what looks like no response is an all-time low. So he's accusing Remy Ma of doctoring photos when she's making accusations, right? She's saying, you cheated on me when I was locked up, blah, blah, blah. She leaked certain images, and Papoose was saying that they were actually cap and they were fake, right? He said, claiming they are from over a decade ago, even more pathetic. I don't know where you got those fake edited images, texts, and pictures from. You just proved that everything I said was true on your last post. Again, look at how much he's writing. I'm not even going to read all this. By confirming you've been cheating for years. Again, throwing the blame back on her. And I don't know where you got those fake pictures from. While lying to me, saying you was not with the lame. And I'm sure he's talking about the battle rapper, Easy to Block Captain. Stop saying sign the papers. I have already filed for divorce on 5/25/25. So why are they not divorced over a year later, right? I posted it days ago. This was after Remy had already called you out, though. I never wanted to do the social media foolishness. He already said that. But judging by your initial live that was posted, which was full of blah, blah, blah lies, right? So Papoose is essentially painting himself out to be the bigger person, and I didn't do this and that. It's all you. You don't want to be cordial. You don't want to be adult. Like, what about our kid? That kind of thing, right? All the other stuff where she's calling you Papoose, you didn't say nothing to it. And you're saying, hey, I don't know where you got those pictures from. Follow along. It gets crazier. Here's the thing. Based on the fact that he has a whole wife, a year later after all of these texts leaked online, right? He's still not divorced. You look crazy. She warned you. You didn't listen. And here's where I feel Claressa Shields actually messed up, because Papoose was putting these long explainers, right? And in her ear, you would think, first of all, I feel like I believe Claressa to be naive and young-minded. That's why she's even in this mess. I think other more mature women would have looked at this and be like, I'm worth 8 million, or I got this new deal, or I have 2 gold medals. I'm a celebrity. I don't got time for this. I'm a successful boxer, a 2-time gold medalist. I got my own money. This girl is airing him out, saying he pawning stuff. He has a gambling problem. And here's the thing. Some people think, oh man, you're just out here believing anything Remy says. Again, I could have been an investigative journalist, right? I don't just believe any old thing that I hear, right? Why would I? I'm a reporter, right? So that is in fact not the case. I don't just believe whatever somebody told me. However, if you look at the actual proof and the receipts that are available, much of, especially now that some time has passed, a lot of what Remy said in that initial video, if you go back and listen to the whole thing, all of those early videos where she was outing Papoose, a lot of it came true. She said Papoose pawned some of her stuff. She had receipts. He called her a narcissist, but he never really responded to those allegations. Like, he responded to, hey, how'd you get those pictures? Those are edited, right? Why not respond to the pawn shop part? Your own friend, Claressa's ex-friend, Nigeria, said that Claressa had to rebuy a purse because the purse came up missing. And she was like, why would I steal it? I've known you for 10 years or better, and I never stole from you. Check the man that you sleep with. Check the married man you with, right? So now, again, we're not just going off of what Remy's saying. Now your ex-best friend is saying something similar. Let's keep going. Remy said he had a problem with gambling. I don't know if that's true, but here is a picture of Papoose with a table full of money, and he's gambling. So again, you guys can arrive at your own conclusions, but that looks like a lot of money. This picture is about 2-3 years old, right? And he looks like he's at a table gambling, right? So again, I don't just go off of what people say. I do my own research, my own critical thinking, and arrive at my own conclusions. That is essentially Papoose gambling. So, you know, Remy, so far, her story is tracking, right? Pay attention. We're going to keep going. The mistake Claressa made is right here. When Papoose put that long dialogue over explaining himself, Claressa started jumping in the mix and pretty much defending Papoose. Whereas in my opinion, I think, first of all, most women would have bowed out. Like, you got too much baggage. Your whole situation with your wife ain't hashed out. It's making me look bad. I'm out. I can't be involved with that. I'm a 2-time gold medalist, and I was engaged to another dude. This ain't going to work. But Claressa clearly don't think like that. Stayed in this situation, and I think it's gotten progressively worse. Again, back to my initial theory. You didn't want to give Remy credit. You didn't want to believe all the people who tried to warn you. So now you're stuck in that position. And what do you do now? More time has elapsed. More money has been lost. More emotions have been invested. So on and so forth, right? So most women that were very mature, I don't even think they would have seen these early red flags and be like, I'm out. I got to bow out. You know, at best, clean up your situation, get a full divorce, and if what we have is so tight, we can rekindle it later. You know, I think that would have been fair. Handle your ish, and then we'll try to reconvene at a later date, right? So you're not in the middle of the process. But that's not who it appears Claressa is, and she tried to go to bat, and you could tell by what she's saying, she believed what Papoose was telling her, right? Let me give you an example. How a woman, this is Claressa Shields, how a woman with 2 boyfriends mad at a man that has a girlfriend at Remy Ma. If I ain't the only one, why the heck are you tagging me, right? So he's feeding you what he wants to feed you, and you're gobbling it up. You're like, how are you going to be mad at us? We're just happily, and you're jealous. You know, that's the angle you're taking, right? She said she didn't care. She's like, I'm not mad at nobody. Come pick up your clothes. Come sign these papers. And then we could all go our separate ways. I've been done. You know what I mean? But Claressa, she's like, nah, you pretty much, you're the one with 2 boyfriends. How you going to be mad, right? Then you see the white text. She says, you making fake text is crazy. Boom. You have officially told on yourself. So the text message from Papoose that I showed you, right? She's pretty much confirming she believes it by saying that Remy is in fact making up fake texts, right? So that means the story he's feeding you, you absolutely believe because you're parroting what he said, right? You making up fake texts is crazy. I'm not a bee that you can bully. Again, listen to the tone. You're bitter and mad and you're making yourself look stupid. Just stop it. This is why Claressa is in this mess, because she is young-minded, in my opinion, and naive. And you wanted to compete with this wife so bad that you missed the whole entire message, right? She was trying to game you up. That's what I truly believe. But you were so busy trying to be in competition with her. You have to look at it. This woman has kids with this man. He has a tattoo on his forearm of his wife. She spent more time, years, dealing with him. Who do you think knows him better? You, and you've known each other since whenever, a couple years, or the people who've been dealing with each other for over a decade? That's where some women get it all twisted, right? You think, oh man, I'm going to know him better than somebody that spent a decade plus with him, that was married to him, that lived with him. To my understanding, Claressa and Papoose don't actually live with each other year round. So you're not even qualified to really speak on what a person's character is. You haven't even lived with them, you know, especially over someone who has kids with them, married him, the guy got a tattoo of the girl, multiple to my understanding, had a whole reality show with her, and lived together. You don't have that experience. So she was like, you're making yourself look stupid. Just stop it. Remy Ma says, I'm not 45 yet, but you are a 29-year-old. And I'll just say this. You not aging like wine. So that was a dig. She's like, you're only 29 and you're not aging like fine wine. Again, though, I am not your enemy. Tell your boyfriend, buy you some flowers and gifts. And he didn't answer any of his phones because he was with his California girl this week. Man, oh man. What Remy just did here was laced with cyanide. That was the ether. Now, for those who aren't caught up with the story, you're not going to understand the little subtle digs that she just took right then and there with Claressa Shields. But I think the truthful things are what cut the deepest. So the text on the left is what I just read. But when Remy was leaking all this stuff about her husband, Papoose, she had went through Papoose's phone allegedly and found text messages between Papoose and Claressa, right? And as the story goes, all of these text messages in section 2 and 3, you know, the middle of the screen and the right, these are reportedly Claressa Shields. This is what Remy Ma leaked, right? After she screenshotted and went through the phone. It says, Pap, since when do you let both of your phones die and don't call me? ? Right? So when Remy Ma was like, I'm not 45 yet, but you're 29. And then she said, and he didn't answer any of his phones because he was with his California girl. She's bringing up these leaked text messages that she found, right? So she was like, why don't he buy you any flowers? Pay attention. So according to Remy, these are Claressa texts. Since when do you let both of your phones die and don't call me? Get up. So right then and there, you already look super needy. I'm telling you from a man's perspective. You look super needy, right? All of that gray is reportedly Claressa Shields. This is what I'm telling you. Papoose is nearly 50 years old. You're not equipped to this. You haven't matured to the point where you're ready for this type of stuff. That's what it appears to me, right? Because I'm going to say from my perspective, when a man knows he got the girl wrapped around his finger, if he don't really care about her, he going to be the master manipulator. That's the best way I can say, right? Master manipulator, do 2% of the work and let her do 98% of the work, have her groveling, have her begging, have her, needy, have her fiending. That's why people said it looks like Papoose is running game on you, which when you go back to that tape of Remy that I played, she was like, I feel bad for the girl because I know the circles that are being wrapped around her. I know the games. I've been with this man. That's what she's telling. Claressa didn't want to listen. So any man can attest to what I'm saying. Claressa Shields could believe whatever she wants. But the fact that you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 text messages on text message 2, and he hasn't responded, you're making yourself look bad. You're not even waiting for him to reply, right? But let's keep going. I know you hate the internet games, but you need to do something today about this girl. My PR team gonna freak out when they see this. I can't be up exposing her before Christmas. The movie is coming out, right? So she's like, I can't really handle this. I got the Fire Inside movie, the biopic coming out. She says, you got your other phone yet? LOL. Don't worry. I'm not worried about nothing she say or put in her story. So right there, Claressa's already giving Papoose all of the power, right? I just need to clear it up as soon as possible, right? Now, I will say this. This is just what Remy put out. So there is a chance that Papoose was responding and possibly deleted his text because he was living in Remy's house. So it's feasible or plausible that he was actually replying to some of these messages and he didn't want to get caught, or he didn't want, his responses shown. I don't know. But this hasn't been edited by me. These are what Remy Ma put out. You guys could arrive at your own conclusions, right? But let's talk about the flower part. This other one says, okay, love, I'm not happy, but all right, I'ma stop. Here's the thing. Even if Papoose was responding and then deleting some, I highly doubt he was texting this much and this long. That's my personal opinion. I don't want to stress you out more than you already are, so I'ma just stop. You're too busy. You're responding too much. Men can sense desperation, right? How I feel is not warranted. I'm just tired of talking and you not hearing me, so I can't. Thank you for your honesty, though. That's always the best option. You gonna do whatever you feel you want to do. I won't say nothing else, right? But peep this. I ask for gifts, I'm tripping. Bro. This is what I'm saying. This is why I believe Claressa Shields to be young-minded. Who has to ask a man for gifts? Who? Like, I feel like if, let's say we're in high school, if 4 people are going to the roller rink to ice skate, to skate, right? And they didn't bother to call me, I don't want to go. Why would I want to go and you didn't think to call me? Why would I want to have to invite hey, can I go with you guys? I don't know. Me personally, that ain't never been a thing, right? But Claressa is making herself look needy the way I see it, by saying this stuff, I ask for gifts, I'm tripping. Why would you have to ask for your own gifts? I express I'd like flowers, I'm tripping. I want time set aside, dedicated to me, I'm tripping. I don't know how to feel. I'm just laying here feeling stupid. Wow. Now, again, a lot of you guys don't know or weren't following the story back then. So you don't know all these text messages you didn't see when they were initially leaked, right? I had to dig some of them up just to jog my memory on what was out, because I'll be honest, when this first happened, I didn't really even care about the storyline. But that changed for obvious reasons, right? But back to it, that makes Claressa Shields look very, very needy, right? There's no response shown from Papoose. There is one at the very end, and it said something about bad stomach, right? Let me make it larger, right? So all these, if I ask for gifts and all that, it says stomach better. So what does that look like to a man when you're pouring your heart out and saying all this stuff, and I feel stupid, I'm asking for gifts, I'm asking for your time, you making me feel bad, you got to talk to her, my PR team's going to trip, and the person says stomach better? And this is what Claressa Shields has been accepting from early on. Whereas most women at her age or older would be like, red flag. Because why would anyone succumb, especially when you're a breadwinner and accomplished? Why would you put up with a lot of baggage with a baby mama and a wife that early in the relationship? That's why I said Claressa was with that other dude from Flint. I think he was a Tony or something like that, a personal trainer. And that seemed like, to me, a better fit because he wasn't no celebrity. To my knowledge, he didn't have no wife, or he didn't have this type of stuff going on. But Claressa, again, pride comes before the fall. You chose how you chose. You chose the more celebrity relationship, thinking maybe grass was going to be greener, and you were engaged to the other dude, but whatever happened, that dissolved, and then you moved on. And then now you're caught up in between this. To this day, as of this recording, there hasn't been an actual divorce between Remy Ma and Papoose. And you're wondering why the internet is like, hey, this looks bad. Hey, sis, you're not looking so hot. Your career is taking a major L. Now, in my research, I found this next part to be very telling as well. Remy Ma continued to leak messages, right? And it says, quote, Papoose dumb ass fell asleep on the phone with Claressa Shields, crying emoji. Laying in my house, he refuses to leave. This bit supposed to be a world champion boxer and get scary hung up soon as she heard my voice. Now I'm telling everything. Oh, and baby girl, you not the only one. So again, Remy Ma said, leave me alone. Move on. Sign this paperwork. Come pick up your clothes. But I'm not the one to be like playing these games with. Notice she keeps saying there's a girl in Cali. You're not the only one. Papoose. So she's basically saying Papoose fell asleep with, her on the phone or whatever the case was. And he fell asleep. And I guess while he was asleep, she got these screen grabs or something, right? He was on the phone with her, and that's how she knew what the drop was, right? She's like, he's in my house. He won't leave. We don't sleep in the same bed. And you up here with the next girl, and you fell asleep with your phone, and then now she knew what she was doing. But remember at the beginning of this, I was like, what I don't understand is why would Claressa Shields even be mad at Remy Ma? Shouldn't she be the one mad? She's the one with the wasted time. She was the one with the failed marriage now. She was the one where you guys spoke in her DMs and it was all cordial and you guys were somewhat of friends. And then now you're running around with her husband and on the phone and playing these games, right? So for me, I would feel like the wife should be the one angry. But no, somehow, some way, it's Claressa Shields. Let's continue. Remy Ma posted the text and said he fell asleep with it. The blue is allegedly Papoose. It says, but that's okay. We are human beings. No human is going to be able to report they every move. You see nothing wrong with that? So that's probably in reference to Claressa saying, hey, I reached out to both of your phones and both of them are dead, right? And he's like, I can't report everything I'm doing. Does this sound like a guy that truly is in love and cares? But let's keep going. The gray is reportedly Claressa. You take accountability. You are the one who is married. The smoking gun, people. You take accountability because you are the one who is married. If you can't at least sleep on the phone with me or be with me in person, it shouldn't be a big deal to let me know you made it home safe or to communicate that you fell asleep in the Sprinter. Boom. So, major problem. This is why ever since this relationship, Claressa Shields and Papoose, career-wise, has been in a tailspin, in a nosedive, because your morality appears to be on full display. You, unless that text is in you, which wouldn't you have sued by now? You threatened to sue 50 Cent for putting a body on your record. You threatened to sue Jake Paul and MVP and Bumgardner, even though you assaulted her, right? So it's been over a year. Remy Ma said this was you texting. And to this day, as of this recording, over a year from when those texts leak, right? I have never heard of a lawsuit for defamation. Like, hey, I never said that. Hey, that's not my text message. If anything, guess what? Claressa Shields said she's mad at Remy Ma because she, in one of these leaked screenshots, it showed Claressa Shields' number, right? It showed her number. And Claressa said that she was mad at Remy Ma because her public phone or her private phone number was now made public. Now, again, hype up the video if you're enjoying this. I don't know everything, but I definitely do my research. So here's one of the Remy Ma text messages. I redacted the rest of the phone number because I'm not going to blast anyone's phone number out. But that whole number was shown. And allegedly, that is Claressa Shields' phone number, right? So not only did Claressa Shields not sue when these text messages came out if they weren't her, right? Which she threatens to sue everybody. She went on a podcast and said she would fight Remy Ma.
How much money would it take for you to jump in the ring with Remy Ma? Just want to know.
At this point, the girl leaked my number.
What? Your actual telephone?
Boom. She's holding her head and she said, at this point, the girl leaked my number. And the host said, what? Your actual telephone number?
So at this point, you can give me $1 and I'll put my hands on her.
Give me $1, I'll put hands on her because she leaked my number. So again, your boy Ego, extremely well researched.
$1. It don't have nothing to do with whatever else. It's just that part alone. That part there is where it's like,
you leaked my number, I want to put hands on you. Her own words.
I'm a businesswoman. Don't leak my number.
Right.
Boom. So again, Claressa hasn't never denied that these text messages are her. So my perspective, I think she looks bad and needy. And again, now you're seeing things start to form. Papoose is like you keep pulling and he keep pushing. It's like a game. You know what I mean? Every time you pull and tug harder, he pushes away more. And even fast forward a year later, after all this stuff then came out, he looks disinterested at times, like in Aruba, right? It appeared to me that you were dancing to Mary J. Blige, "Don't Need No Hateration," and you were acting like you were so jovial while holding your phone on some kind of vacation for who knows what reason, since you had a lot of things back home, grandma in hospice, petitions and boycotts against you, a whole cancel Clarissa movement going on. But for whatever reason, you're taking a vacation and you're walking around filming yourself dancing, walking through the hotel lobby to Mary J. Blige. Papoose is looking down at his phone, and it looks like he hits a corner, and it almost doesn't even look like you guys are a couple. So now you can see why people are like, what is even going on here? Like, what is the real? This all stinks, and it looks fishy. And back to Clarissa, she has never said, "Hey, Remy Ma is lying. I'm suing her for defamation. Those text messages were not mine." If anything, you essentially confirmed it by saying, "I want to fight her for $1 because she leaked my number." So you're essentially acknowledging what was leaked really is you, right? If you said, "It's the principle, I'll fight her for $1 at this point because she leaked my number," then those text messages are you. So back to it. You take accountability. You are the one who is married. Smoking gun. This is why people are looking at your situation like this is just bad news. You, by making that statement, have acknowledged that you knew he was still married, and yet you're talking about, "Oh, if I ask for flowers and gifts, I'm tripping." So yeah, this whole situation from my perspective never was going to work great to begin with, because what people were doing was wrong. Everybody included almost, right? And I'm not saying Remy is innocent. Maybe she cheated on Papoose, but Papoose did his stuff and then fed you his version of things. But for me, it's looking like what Remy was saying is official, right? We'll get to that in a little bit. So this whole thing is a mess, and you have now been on record acknowledging that you were doing all this with a married man. What kind of character is that is willing to, like, what woman, let me know in the comment section, would be willing to mess with a man with all this drama, all this toxicity, all this baggage? Is essentially an open case, an open marriage, right? Meaning open, the chapter hasn't been closed. There hasn't been an actual divorce decree, right? Who would even want to get involved with that? Even me as a man, I don't want to get involved with no girl and the baby daddy tripping and going live and talking bad about her. That's just too much drama. I got a business to run. I got my peace of mind, my sanity. I got a brand. I don't want to look bad because y'all beefing and whatever else. And then on top of that, you got a tattoo of this man. It's messy. But it goes to show you this is major turning point of why Claressa Shields' stock has fallen from grace, because you chose to get involved in a situation without closure. And then even to this day, he ain't lasered off the tattoo. You have all this money, but he hasn't covered up the tattoo. To this day, there's no official divorce. And then you talked about a guy in Aruba did your makeup, allegedly, and he was playing in your face. These people appear to be playing in your face, right? Because nothing has been resolved, and it's been 2+ years at least, right? And you begging for gifts. right? Let's keep going. You are the one who is married if you can't at least sleep on the phone with me or be with me in person. Man, she giving up way too much. You have no leverage here, right? At this point, a man could do whatever he wants. His reply in blue, it says, and I quote, "After the office, I'm going to a Christmas party at the office. The CEO asked me to come last week. You don't know that, do you?" Right? So, right off rip from these leak, Remy did super damage here, by the way, right? Because Claressa appears to be pouring out her heart and like, oh, I feel stupid. You can sleep with me. Why don't we hold hands? That kind of thing, right? And he's like, I'm a human being. Humans can't let you know everywhere they go. The CEO told me to go to a party, but you wouldn't know that. Like, the two tones don't even really add up, right? You seem like you're head first in the relationship, and he talking to you like almost like he don't care, right? And this is early on. This is a year ago. That's why I told you guys, boys and girls, men and women, you do not start something relationship-wise unless it's on a clean slate, right? Give it a fair chance to blossom and to work. It's really hard to make something productive and fruitful when it's already starting off on the wrong foot. Pap, I don't care. You have to tell me nothing. So again, from my perspective, you have absolutely no leverage because you said all this other mumbo jumbo, right? Like, oh, you could have told me where you're at and take accountability. You're married. You could have, if you couldn't sleep with me on the phone, let me know you made it home. And then he said what he said. And he said, okay, you don't have to tell me nothing, right? So, yeah, this has been going on for a while, man. And Claressa, from the inception, from my point of view, it does not look like she carries much leverage. It looks like she is concentrated on making things work. She is concentrated on going to bat and defending her dude. But he seems very cavalier, very nonchalant. Now, again, I don't know Claressa Shields' actual motivations. Only she can truly speak on that. But based on the public timeline and what I'm providing, none of this stuff looks good. None of it. So I kept researching. I kept diving deeper, and I'm going down the rabbit hole, deeper and deeper. And you know the ladies like when Boxingego go deeper. So I found something that was interesting. In an interview with the Pivot podcast, Claressa Shields had something like a revelation, if you will, and it was very telling to me. We'll find out what she said. In this interview, she acknowledges that she was not ready to go public with Papoose, the whole Papoose situation, but it was because Remy leaked those texts that we went over that they got outed. So you weren't even a couple that was okay with being public. You got forced out, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, pay attention to this, and then it will. Play the clip.
Maybe, and then you start throwing shots at me, making it seem like I'm somebody that came and disrupted a happy household when I didn't. That's not what happened. So, you know, I think that it's a lot of, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, women can be very emotional. I'm a woman, but I think some women are more emotional than me. And I think that
that's ironic. That's very rich coming from Claressa Shields. Again, my theory is completely different. She's pitting it on Remy. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes people have their mind made up, and no matter what you tell them, they're going to keep feeling until they learn the hard way, whatever they feel. So all these interviews, all these responses, it shows me that she believed Papoose. Whatever he told her, whatever his version of events of what, oh, Remy cheated on me and I was a good dude and I held her down. I get the feeling that she believed whatever Papoose told her, right? And she ran with that because she keeps saying, you look dumb, you look silly, you're jealous, women are emotional, right? Papoose is not the victim here. He did no wrongdoing. But let's keep going.
Some people like the whole back and forth and to try to make it seem like it's something over me and her going at it, or I don't think I've ever really went at it with her. I feel
That's a lie.
like I've had to defend myself up on certain things, but it's like me and him are solid. Like we know what goes on in our relationship. Like
me and him are solid. This is what she's been saying. Let's keep going.
He's probably done called me 3-4 times sitting here right now.
I noticed a pattern. All these like very interesting things, it's always Claressa revealing it. I never hear Papoose say it. Like she'll go on podcasts saying he probably called me 3 times. That's weird. If I know my girl's at work, why would I be calling her 3 times unless it's an emergency? Right? So I don't know what's going on there, but I want to know from you in the comment section, why is it that a lot of the kind of bold statements about how Papoose feels and what Papoose does and all that, I never really hear from him. Like she'll be like, this cat got Papoose held hostage. Papoose wants me to stop boxing so he can start a family and have kids with me right now. Papoose probably called me 3 times. Why would he call you 3 times in the middle, knowing if you guys talk so good and you're so close and he knows you're doing a podcast interview, why would he call you 3 times? You don't have kids together. You're not married. So something about it seems fishy to me.
Because I don't think he know I'm supposed to be doing this interview.
Okay.
But
even that, she said, I don't know I'm supposed to be doing this interview. But I thought you guys were so close. You don't discuss, hey, I'm gonna be busy. I got to interview. Something about it seems weird. Let's keep going.
But me and him haven't missed a day of talking to each other since we met July 6, 2024 at SHAKUR fight. So when we met up in what was in Newark, New Jersey, at the fights, we haven't not talked to each other since then. So we talk to each other every single day.
We talk to each other every single day since the Shakur Stevenson fight. Now, this is a part of the story that gets a little bit fuzzy. Here's what my research found. So this is also the problem with Gen Z. They talk too much, and all this stuff is recorded and documented. So again, going back to the interview on the podcast with Claressa Shields, let's finish out what she said.
And faster each fight. But if you like me, you like me. And it's okay to be disliked. I don't know how people want me to not be okay with that. It's people that I dislike.
I have a question for you though.
I think it's gender, because no one could be more confident than Floyd Mayweather. And they don't criticize him.
Me and him neck to neck.
Everybody criticizes him. I have a question for you though. Channing was sort of talking about these attributes that you have, right? You're confident, you're strong. Some of that is also aggression, anger, or relationship. You're in a very public relationship.
Oh, tell me about it.
Now, with Papoose.
Yeah.
What has that adjustment been like for you, the back and forth with his ex, you guys being publicly together now? You saying recently, as in on our show, you plan to have children. What has that adjustment been like to be in such a public relationship with Papoose?
You know, one, he's a great man, you know, and I think it takes a certain
So she fully believes Papoose. She just said he's a great man.
type of strong man to be able to deal with me. And, you know, deal with me inside the ring, outside the ring, getting ready for a fight, even not in camp for a fight. It's so many different people or women you have to deal with to be able to deal with me. And I think he does that very well. It's public relationship, like I said, I don't know how anything ever stemmed to be a problem, because she's publicly came out and said that she was with somebody since 2022.
Keep paying attention. It's about to get weird.
Outside of their union. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, how do I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with, whatever the case may be, and then you start throwing shots at me, making it seem like I'm somebody that came and disrupted a happy household when I didn't. That's not what happened. So, you know, I think that it's a lot of, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, women can be very emotional. I'm a woman. But I think some women are more emotional than me. And I think that some people like the whole back and forth and to try to make it seem like it's something over me and her going at it, or I don't think I've ever really went at it with her. I feel like
that's a big lie.
Like I've had to defend myself up on certain things, but it's like me and him are solid. Like we know what goes on in our relationship. Like he's probably done called me 3-4 times sitting here right now, because I don't think he know I'm supposed to be doing this interview. but me and him haven't missed a day of talking to each other since we met July 6, 2024 at SHAKUR fight.
Again, July 6th is actually July 7th at SHAKUR fight, right? She just said that. Y'all heard it. Mm-hmm.
So
she said I talk to him every day.
When we met up in what was in Newark, New Jersey, at the fights, we haven't not talked to each other since then. So we talk to each other every single day. He's flying out here tomorrow. Like, I just left New Jersey. When I was at the fights in New York, I was with him. We always together. We're always connected. So it's not like we're fighting over a man or anything like that. Like, that's a stupid narrative. I'm a grown-ass woman, and I'm a good-looking woman who's successful. I don't got to fight over no man.
Real talk.
I can get any man that I want, if we're being honest.
I can get any man that I want.
But I chose him, he chose me, and we're together. It's just that they were like this whole black love thing, and I think that's where like the fans are kind of stuck at, like, oh, this was our black love, this, and that's what they were used to, I guess. And then I came into the equation, and me and him got together, and just to be honest, we weren't supposed to be public.
Boom, boom, boom. But hold that thought. Like I said, here's what happens when you talk too much. She said we met July 6th at SHAKUR's fight in Newark, and we've talked every day since. Cool. SHAKUR fought not July 6th, so she was actually inaccurate. How do I know? Because I'm a boxing channel. SHAKUR Stevenson, this is his box rec, right? SHAKUR Stevenson. And guess what? He only had one fight in 2024. You see, it went from 2023, one fight, his final fight with Top Rank, and he did not fight again until the next year after his Top Rank contract ended. So I'm giving you receipts because I'm a boxing channel. She said, actually, I guess it was the 6th, right? So whatever. July 2024, she said, we've been talking since the SHAKUR fight. Every day. Her words, right? Pay attention. This is where it starts to get fuzzy. You see, Newark, New Jersey, SHAKUR fought July 6, 2024, right? And they've been talking every day since. Also, there's proof. Papoose and Claressa, right? So you see them both there. July 7th, 2024. So let's say he posted the next day. That's why I got my dates confused, right? Cool. Here's where it gets confusing. So she said we met at Shakur's fight in Newark. We've established it was the final top-ranked fight, Artem Haratunian, on this day in Newark, right? More proof is Papoose posting it the next day, showing he was at the fight, with Claressa Shields. So July 7th, 2024. So we've established the July, and you've never stopped talking to Papoose and la, la, la. You did another podcast and said it was love at first sight when you met Papoose.
Talk to Pap, like, first of all, we were in love first time we ever really seen each other for real.
Really?
Yes.
Like love at first sight?
July 6th, 2024, a SHAKUR fight.
This is where you start running into problems. So you're doing a whole lot of talking, and you've now narrowed it down to when you met, allegedly, right? I showed you the date. You said you've been talking every day since, and then you did another podcast and said it was, quote, love at first sight.
First of all, we were in love first time we ever really seen each other for real.
Really?
Yes.
Like love at first sight?
July 6th, 2024, a SHAKUR fight. I know the way that he looked at me, and when he shook my hand and told me who he was, I was like, that's a good looking man. That's the first thought I had. First thought. 12,000 people showed up for your girl. I got walked out by Dej Love, and he ended up coming to the back and wishing me luck and stuff. And it was so weird because when he came to the back to wish me luck, I was kind of like, I'm like, why am I nervous? And when he came in, he just was so happy. He was like, what's up, champ? I'm like, what's up? And I just remember like knowing I had me a special friend at least, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, it built to something more. But he has always been nothing but kind to me.
So you talked every single day since the Shakur fight, and it was love at first sight. So in my research, I also found this. The same year, let me just show you the date. February 14th, 2024, right? Valentine's Day. It says, Happy Valentine's Day. You're kissing your fiance, Tony Rich, right? And you left a lewd message that says, I love you. Let me move this. Right? I love you, Dada. You the best, Dada. Make me smile, Dada. I want to suck your eggplant, Dada. Right? So now it's starting to get a little bit weird. So the same year you met Papoose and it was love at first sight, and you've been talking every day, months before that, on Valentine's Day, you were engaged to Tony Rich. Right? Let's keep going. So going back to the Remy text messages, right? This is reportedly Claressa, and she has not denied it or sued, saying it wasn't her. Again, if anything, she confirmed it was her by saying, I want to fight her because she leaked my number. So I'm just going to assume these are her texts that Remy leaked because Papoose fell asleep. Going back to it, I know you hate the internet games, but you need to do something today about this girl, meaning Remy Ma. My PR team gonna freak out when they see this. I can't be up there exposing Remy Ma, etc. before December 25th, the movie is coming out. She's referring to the Fire Inside movie, right? And the Fire Inside movie, my research confirms that it was on Christmas, which is what it said in those text messages. I told you, the ride get trippy. This is where it starts to get really trippy. So the text message that Remy leaked of you talking to Papoose says, do something about Remy Ma, basically. I can't get involved and expose her because we got this movie about to roll out, right? So, again, you posted a Valentine picture saying you want to suck off Tony Valentine's Day. Shakur's fight in July, you met up with Papoose, said it was love at first sight, and you talk every single day. I've established through my research, right, that your Fire Inside movie was December 25th, 2024, which goes back to the Remy Ma tweet. But here's this. We went over Tony Rich. We went over Papoose. Boom. Your whole beef with 50 Cent stems from him posting this, right? There's another man named Maserati Bud, and 50 Cent says Maserati Bud was all over Clarissa Udi for Christmas. Where you was at, boy? You itch a bop. This is what 50 Cent said, right? And Clarissa Shields responded to it, says, my biopic premiere of The Fire Inside. The Fire Inside came out on Christmas Day. This is all you got. 50 Cent says, no, you just got off the phone with him. Don't play with me, right? So now, in my research, I'm starting to get really confused. Really confused. According to my research, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2024, you're saying lewd things to then fiance Tony Rich, who you were engaged to. Months later, July 6th, 2024, you're meeting up or at a event for Shakur Stevenson, and Papoose is there. You said it was love at first sight, and you talked every single day. Clarissa's words, not mine. And then I've already established that December 25th, your movie came out, which you confirmed in your text. And then you have this Maserati Bud guy who started putting out videos saying, hey, I bought her, furniture. We were cool. Clarissa was like, is giving grapist. Those are her exact words in a live where she was talking about 50 Cent and Maserati Bud. Is giving grapist. But I just showed you he was at the movie premiere. But you made it sound like he was just following you around and filming, and he was this bizarre character, right? And you had no idea, what his deal was, and you didn't want him around, and he was pretty much stranger danger, right? So in my research, this is what I also uncovered. Oh, man. I told you this is where the story gets. December 14th, 2024. So we're talking about the same year. Pulled up to support my girl, Clarissa Shields, for The Fire Inside. The movie of the year, hands down, drops on Christmas. Y'all go support this movie. Very inspiring. So remember, she said, I don't even know who this guy is. He's pretty much some weirdo and is giving grapist. Right? You don't know who he is. Regal movie theater, Atlanta premiere. The man documented everything. What? He walks up and y'all embrace. What's going on? I thought you didn't know him.
I don't know this man, but every time I leave an event from where I'm at, He's sending me videos and pictures of me there. He like, hey, you don't remember me? I'm the guy that had got you the salmon. I said, what? So then I'm like, okay, yeah, we did have some food or whatever at the end because I was smoking hookah and I had me a little bit of drink. But he's sending me a video. How do you recognize a weirdo? Somebody you don't know coming around you 24/7 doing this. Yeah, you all in the back. He got his phone, flip the camera. Oh, yeah, look who I'm with. Yeah, look where I'm at. This man been doing that since the first day I met him. I don't know this man.
I thought he was just like this creepy guy that was just following you with a camera and is giving grapist. This is what is going on. And this is why people have judged Claressa Shields in the public eye. You led the whole world believe that something was wrong with him and made it appear that you didn't know. I don't know if you did what you guys did or didn't do, but he's documented like some of the process, that he's in your home, that he's at your movie premiere. That's showing that he's at the movie premiere, that he hugged and embraced you. Look, the fire inside. So he literally is at the spot for whatever reason. So you can't really run around and say, man, who is this guy? He's a weirdo. Why is he following me? Right? And for me, I personally believe that's a lot of movement in the year of 2024. Right? Just a lot of movement, a lot of moving pieces that I'm starting to uncover as I continue. So yeah, I'll keep doing my research, but from February, Tony Rich, to Love at First Sight, Papoose, right? To you texting, hey, you need to get your wife because my movie premieres December 25th and I can't be getting involved with that. And then this other Maserati Bud character comes out of nowhere who you later try to make it sound like, you know, he was just this like stalker of sorts. So as I'm doing my research, I'm trying to figure out, is there a segue? What happened? I think you were with the guy, and then maybe you split, and then you guys got back together and got engaged, and then you guys, so much as on Valentine's Day of that given year, 2024, you're posting kissy pictures, and then by summertime, I guess he's no longer in the picture, and then you're talking to Papoose every day, and it's love at first sight. But then I'm wondering where's the Maserati Bud fit into the situation? So for me, I feel like a lot of what Claressa is experiencing is definitely self-inflicted. It seems to be a lot going on. And I think she tried to make Remy Ma the enemy and make her enemy. And, oh, women are emotional and Pap told me all about you and that kind of thing. But from my research and in my particular opinion, I think Remy was over Papoose and really was like, I truly feel bad because I know what she's about to get into. And Claressa was too much in puppy love to see it. Broke off her engagement, you know, probably thinking the grass is going to be greener on the other side. This guy ain't a celebrity. Papoose, you know, he has a bit of celebrity. He had the black love with Remy Ma. He had the love and hip hop with Remy Ma. You know, you don't know the ins and outs about a person. You might see a person on TV. So you could look in that direction and that could appear more appealing, you know, like the person you've seen on TV as opposed to what you already had, right? So I'm still trying to figure out how all this stuff, the timeline, like I said, it got a little trippy and it got a little fuzzy to the point where I'm trying to figure out how all this works. But I'll continue doing my research. You guys can let me know in the comment section what you feel.
You know, I think that it's a lot of, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, women can be very emotional. I'm a woman, but I think some women are more emotional than me. And I think that some people like the whole back and forth and to try to make it seem like it's something over me and her going at it, or I don't think I've ever really went at it with her. I feel like I've had to defend myself up on certain things, but it's like me and him are solid. Like we know what goes on in our relationship. Like he's probably done called me 3-4 times sitting here right now because I don't think he know I'm supposed to be doing this interview. We met July 6, 2024 at SHAKUR fight. So when we met up in what was in Newark, New Jersey at the fights, we haven't not talked to each other since then. So we talk to each other every single day. He's flying out here tomorrow. Like I just left New Jersey. When I was at the fights in New York, I was with him. We always together, we're always connected. So it's not like we're fighting over a man or anything like that. Like that's a stupid narrative. I'm a grown ass woman and I'm a good looking woman who's successful. I don't gotta fight over no man.
Real talk.
I can get any man that I want if we're being honest. But I chose him, he chose me, and we're together. It's just that they were like this whole black love thing. And I think that's where like the fans are kind of stuck at like, oh, this was our black love. And that's what they were used to, I guess. And then I came into the equation and me and him got together. And just to be honest, we weren't supposed to be public. We was not supposed to be public. She did that. Remy did that. You know, and I don't even like saying her name because it's more of a thing of like, I ain't got no smoke with you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want smoke with me. But I don't got no smoke with you. But she the one who put out text messages and put my number out on her page that got 10 million followers. She did that. Putting everybody in our business, letting them know that me and Pap was together. We were a private relationship.
So again, this is a part of the story that starts to get a little bit weird, right? Claressa is now on record saying we didn't plan on going public at all. Remy did that. Remy put my text messages out. Remy leaked the information. So for me, I truly believe any reasonable woman would have looked at this whole situation and be like, whoa, this is way too messy. You just got over, as far as my research shows, at least Valentine's Day 2024, February of 2024, you're engaged to a whole nother man, right? That's what as of right now, that's where my research is. So I can pinpoint you to being with the Tony Rich dude, right? As far as February 2024, right? You thought I met Papoose and it was love at first sight and we talk every day. And then we went to this fight after and he called my phone 3 times and blah, blah, blah. And Remy leaked my message. So you have all this Remy beef and Remy was going live and leaking text messages. You're just coming out of a situation where you were engaged, right? Somehow you sprinkle in Maserati Bud. I don't know when you met him or, you know, how that happened or extent of that, but he was at your movie premiere, right? So again, a lot of moving parts. And then you said we had a private relationship. We weren't ready to come out until Remy Ma did it. So I am of the belief that Remy Ma outing y'all forced Papoose to claim you, and it's been downhill ever since. Had Remy not done that, I don't know if we would truly know of Claressa and Papoose as a public couple. She's telling you Remy Ma is the one that leaked it.
Got 10 million followers. She did that. putting everybody in our business, letting them know that me and Pap was together. We were a private relationship since around like August, around that time. And I didn't want to be public with another relationship until I knew
Around August.
it was marriage and it was kids.
Yeah.
And that's being honest. So once all that came out,
And you're still not married to him, and he's still married to Remy, and you still don't have kids, and you're pushing it back. 1 minute you say 2025 or so, then it's 2026, now it's 2027. Great.
he was like, well, God damn. just gonna blow up my damn spot. and like the thing was, we were exclusive, but it was like when it comes to celebrity relationships, 1 minute they together, 1 minute they not. So it was like, I wanted to be with him privately, and then we broke up. We break up privately. I didn't want people to be like, oh shit.
Right.
So when that happened, I was like, God damn, this lady is,
All up in your sauce.
man, I'm like, why you did that? But
Why you did that, but you guys are happy together. It sounds a mess.
in a way, like I said, I don't understand it because I know for a fact that they weren't like together. Yeah. But it was more of a thing like, damn, I wanted us to come out when we was ready, or at least like he's filed for divorce now.
As of me recording the video, he's still not divorced. This podcast was from 10 months ago, so almost a year ago. Right? I showed you text messages from Pap, and he was like, I filed on May of blah, blah, blah. He's still not divorced. This is why it looks so bad in the public eye. All these interviews, all these statements from you, nothing has been resolved. What don't you understand?
No, but it's like, it still takes time, so just with that.
Making excuses. How much time does it take? You're the $8 million woman. Surely you can throw some money down. I mean, if I got $8 million and I'm in love with a girl and she's in love with me and she wants to be divorced and her ex wants her to be divorced and I could throw a little money in it to expedite the process, like it's like you need a passport. You could pay certain services to get a passport quicker than the normal time frame. So I wouldn't at all settle for what Claressa is willing to settle for. If her ex was tethered to her, or my girl was tethered to her ex, tattoos and all this stuff, I don't see how you can even settle for that, but to each his own.
That is like, dang, we gotta, I have to go through this, people love us together, but it's still like a little public scrutiny or whatever. And it's like, I gotta go through this stuff, and I ain't even want to be public, bro.
Yeah, it's much like you. The internet is undefeated. Like if it's there to be found, they're gonna find it. But I do want to take a minute to give.
So, you got outed. You admit that Remy Ma put y'all spot on blast, and it was never supposed to be known about. So, again, you're starting to see this thing take shape. Oh, we didn't want to come out. Right? But I showed you the text message from Claressa where she was like, take accountability. You're the one married. So I feel like you knew the situation started off messy and you continued with it, right? You continued. Oh, are you going to fall asleep with me on the phone? If not, let me know you made it home safe. And you're like hounding him and texting him and stuff like that. It just seemed like all the warning signs were there that timing might not be perfect. That's my honest opinion. Now, again, my opinion, there's certain parts of this story that it don't really add up to me. It sounded a little bit fishy. She acknowledges meetings at the Shakur fight July 6th or 7th, right? She met July 6th at Shakur's fight. I showed you what date. And then she said, we became official behind closed doors around August.
He did that. Putting everybody in our business, letting them know that me and Pap was together. We were a private relationship since around like August.
I'm not the smartest brother in the world. Maybe I should check Google, but the month after July is August. Right? I mean, if you guys have a different calendar, look, what month is after July? August. So, you met Papoose for the first time July 6th at Shakur's fight with Artem Harutyunyan in Newark, New Jersey, July 6, 2024. And then the very next month, you guys are like officially dating and talking every single day and hopelessly in love. You said love at first sight. I already let you guys hear that, right? All this happened that rapidly. And then go back to what Remy said. Nobody falls in love faster than the man who ain't got no options. He ain't got nowhere to live. He ain't got nowhere to go. Blah, blah, blah. So I think Remy was really giving Claressa a lot of pointers as a woman older than Claressa Shields, but she took it as competition. She took it like, oh, you trying to take my spot. Now, Tasha K interviewed Claressa's cousin, Shalita, and this is what Shalita had to say about Claressa's circle. Play the clip.
Yeah, Papoose, her best friend.
Ain't no best friend. Listen. If she got a best friend, the only best friend she got, her name is Victoria. Everybody else that say that they her best friend, they is not her best friend. They are there for an opportunity. They are using her for an opportunity. And the moment that they can get their opportunity, they're no longer going to be around her because they have their opportunity.
That was Shalita, Claressa's very own blood. She also goes on to say Papoose specifically is pretty much playing in Claressa's face and using her. That's what she believes. Play the clip.
Do you feel like Papoose is using her?
I know he's using her.
How do you know that?
What the does a 50-year-old man want with a 30-year-old? And he already got kids. He's still married. One thing I know from married men, they always gonna tell you they gonna get a divorce, but do they ever get one?
Claressa's very own cousin said, the thing I know about married men, they're gonna always tell you they're gonna get a divorce, but do they ever get one? Fast forward to the future, has Papoose ever got one? Inquiring minds would like to know.
I know from married men, they always gonna tell you they gonna get a divorce, but do they ever get one? No, that's why I don't flaunt their ass out in public and they're my personal ATM machines. But hey,
you still triggering?
That's just me.
You still triggering?
Because if your husband come around me talking about he's single, he's good as and his money is good as took.
Oh, she's still triggering. Okay, so it's like, do you love Claressa?
Now, she also said in this interview that her whole family has a history of mental issues, right? And she says Claressa will probably become unhinged, you know, if there's a breakup, because she said Claressa was getting a disability check from a young age to adulthood because of some kind of mental derangement that runs in their family. This is what the cousin said. Now, the story continues to get weird as Remy Ma posted this when she posted all those tweets and screenshots. It said, this lady, Claressa Shields, and that sorry ad publicity team been putting out fake stories on me every day to make me look bad and him look like God's gift for too long. I begged Papoose to put out something to stop the narrative, and he kept telling me, just stay quiet, and that's the best thing to do. Well, I'm tired. Oh, and he said he would never F-U-C-K you because you are ugly. But don't worry, I saw everything. Now the world gonna see it since you so tough, boo. Wow. Now, Remy is saying what she said in the video. I tried to get Claressa to stop trying to drag me. Every time she disrespect me, I'm going to leak stuff about you, right? And according to Remy, she's claiming that Papoose said don't worry about her and don't worry about him sleeping with her because he's not attracted to her. He finds her ugly. Wow. So, again, I feel like based on all this type of drama this early, you said you met him in July, right? And then by the end of the year, it's like all this and leaking and all this type of stuff. Most females would have been like, bye, 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 I'm tapped out. Like, this is too much. And then there's allegations of him not finding you attractive, according to Remy Ma. Now, to continue this story, here's some other things that Remy posted, right? When she was doing these rants. Claressa, I'm blocked, so I couldn't at you. But in case you haven't noticed, nobody is talking about July 26th. They truly don't know where it is, the opponent, nothing. Not even after this little stunt. That's what should have been and should be the focus at all times. Listen, if you are ready to be a grown woman, call me. You have the number. In the meantime, Google divorce mediation. I've been offering that for years. Now back to your girlfriend, Papoose. Bring that here, boy. Right? So she offered an olive branch to Claressa Shields. Like, yo, if you want to be adult about this, you have my number. I'm blocked. I can't tag you. But, you know, Claressa has burners and seizes, right? She also put, if you just turned 30, which at that point Claressa had, if you just turned 30 and allegedly just met someone 8 months ago that is 47 years old, that I knew since you were 10 years old and was married to them since you were 13 years old, and he has 4 biological children, one age 28, but will be 29, one age 25, another one age 24, but will soon be 25, and also a 6-year-old baby, and currently promising you a newborn while finally agreeing to divorce 18 hours and 54 minutes and 3 seconds ago, please refrain from speaking. So clearly that's a little jab where she's basically like, I know this guy better than you. When you were 10, we were dating. By the time you were 13 years old, Claressa, we were married. So I think Claressa is way off the mark. That's my honest opinion from all my research, all of the receipts I showed. And I think now it's a matter of pride. You don't want your cousin, Boxingego, the blogs, everybody, especially Remy. You don't want these people to be right after you fought hard to try to prove everybody wrong. So now you're into the thick of it. Now you into the thick of it, and you just kind of drowning. And this whole thing was corrupt from the beginning. Remy's accusing Pap of calling you ugly. He's saying that you're not the only, or Remy was saying you're not the only woman, you're not the only girl. Oh, he just told you that. What about his girl in California? I know all about it, right? Your cousin saying what she's saying, the blog saying what she's saying, the fact that it's been over a year since all of these texts that some of you guys are just finding out about the detail after my research. And again, if you like that, share the video, like the video, let me know what you think in the comment section, hype it up. The more you guys encourage and engage, the more I could do these. If you want me to do a part 2, type sequel or part 2 in the comment section. You can leave your regular comments for this video, but in addition to that, put part 2 or put the word sequel. And if enough people do that, I'll do a continuation on this particular theory of mine. But I believe Claressa is young-minded and she's getting taken for a ride. From the inception, based on the text messages alone and certain mannerisms that I'm noticing, it looks like she's more like invested in this. And now I feel like she's bent on trying to prove people wrong and prove that she was right all along and made the right choice or something. And as more time wears on, it looks like Remy Ma was the one indeed. And I have actual more research, but I don't want to inundate you guys with too much. That's why if you want the part 2, let me know. But I can't leave you with this. Remy said, "Hey, Miss Shields, Claressa, I am a one boyfriend woman the same way I was a one husband woman. And I am a good woman at that. Hence why mother effers won't just go. Oh, and he's never going to buy you anything because he thinks he is the prize. He's a taker, not a giver. Plus, I'm the one with the bag, LOL." So she posted this a long time ago, but fast forward to the future, people, your own friends, ex-friends, people believe that you're paying for Arubas and dinners and vacation. Remy was warning you. She was like, he's never going to buy you anything because he thinks he's the prize. He's a taker, not a giver. Your own friend, ex-friend, Nigeria, said he pawned your purse, right? Some people, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and get it. Claressa wanted to learn her way, so enjoy that. Please stop playing with me because I'm not the enemy you want. I am not even mad. Actually, I'm very happy. And that is why your boyfriend is mad. Oh, and I know you said you feel stupid, but you look stupid too. Hashtag he never knocked nobody out. That was a lie. And neither will you. So relax. So from the way I see it, Remy been in charge. Remy been winning. She was like, I'm the bag. He don't have the bag. He got a gambling addiction, right? He not going to buy you nothing, right? And then now there's people saying he's pawning your stuff and he didn't buy you nothing for your birthday. You're paying for all the miscellaneous trips. And the thing is, Jay-Z said it best. There's only so long fake thugs can pretend. The longer you try to keep up a charade, if this is just my opinion now, you guys let me know if you agree or disagree. You're entitled to your opinion. But the point I'm making is if what I'm saying is true or anywhere close to the truth, then the longer you try to keep this up, the worse it'll be because people will run through your pockets. That's pretty much what your cousin said, right? All these people around you are vultures and opportunists, and they're trying to get the bag. They're exploiting you. I got so much more research that I've done as far as the Win records, the California girl. There's so much to this story and so many layers. But again, I don't want to overwhelm you. But only Claressa knows what's going on behind the scenes and how people are acting. All I know is from what I've seen, a lot of people, they put up these fronts, right? They put up fronts where in the public, everything's peachy. I mean, even the Tony Rich, you were saying, I want to do this to you. I want to go downtown, and you were lovey-dovey and kissing him on Valentine's Day. And a mere months later, you're saying you met this other dude at a fight and something happened apparently to your longtime fiance. And I also feel something that people have to pay attention to is when a relationship first ends, it might be hard to see who's in the wrong, right? Who's telling the truth. It'll be hard to see everything and make everything out perfectly. But as time wears on, you're able to look back and go back and check the record, go look at the receipts, go look at the breadcrumbs. And in my opinion, Remy looks like she's destroying Papoose. She got a hit song that's became the Knicks anthem, picked up by ESPN. She out here looking good, right? Right? So she looking good. She's dissing y'all, and she just looks like she's in her bag and enjoying life. Meanwhile, Papoose, his song is talking about these people will backdoor you. Boom, boom, boom. Your girl will backdoor you. He sound real salty, right? Remy sound like she having fun. She is dissing you, but she don't sound, or she don't look like, hey, my life is worse since getting rid of you. It looks like since she shed the extra dead weight that her career is on an incline. But according to her, when she was with you towards the end, it stopped getting good. You were pawning her purses and, cheating, or both of y'all were cheating, or whatever was happening there, and that kind of thing. So I feel like, again, initially in the relationship, you can't tell who's right and who's wrong all the time. But over time, I think it will be shown. And from what I have seen, I really feel like Remy, she looks better. She looks almost younger. She looks vibrant. She looks like she's enjoying her life. Versus Papoose, he's rapping in the car. It's like the same old story. Papoose and Claressa, they're going on vacation. Sometimes, like the first day of the vacation, there was some other girl there. There's a double bed scenario there, right? People were like, is Papoose even there? I think I heard his voice, but I don't really know. And I think this is going to be a true lesson to Claressa Shields. She let the guy from Flint, the personal trainer, the Tony Rich guy, she let that whole situation combust and blow up and try to move on to something else that she might have thought was greener pastures, bigger and better. But it was started with so much controversy, so much drama, so much struggle, strife, angst, anger, pain. The relationship didn't have the proper closure, no official divorce. And Claressa still tried to move in on that. And she thought somehow it was going to play out for her in the right way. Also, she thought the public would be on her side. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't to be. The public is not on your side. All the rappers, Fat Joe, still rocking with Remy, buying the Golden Child gifts, being a godfather or whatnot, going to the Knicks game with her, French Montana siding with her, Max B siding with her. It sounds like the city of New York siding with her. Again, you see her. She looking shape. She looking good. She looking young. Like, where's Papoose's allies? You just seen French Montana with her. How come a bunch of people outside of Busta Rhymes maybe aren't, look, Max B, how come everyone's not rallying behind Papoose, like trying to help him out? Somebody who's still relevant in the game. You don't really see that. You don't really see people siding with Papoose, right? You don't see him at the game. But then you see Remy Ma looking better than ever. And that's what I noticed with women particularly, right? Because let's be real. I had women where I was in the wrong for whatever reason and we broke up. And in the end, at first, I might have been doing good. You know what I mean? I might have been doing, and right after we broke up, I was kind of the one doing better. And the girl was heartbroken and still reaching out to me, or, whatever the case may be. But the thing is, what happens is over time, once the woman got that out of her system, she didn't cry, she didn't process, she had the alone time to heal. Then what happens is you might be in a failed relationship because you thought you found something better, and she's processed and healed, and she ready to go, and then her life is looking like this, where yours is at the same or going lower. That's what I noticed, and that's what it might have been for Remy. You know what I mean? Like, nobody likes to break up. You got kids together, makes it infinitely harder, and especially at the beginning. You know, you think you love someone, you think you're gonna be with them forever, or whatever the case may be. So you go through that, and you're like, man, you know, this wasn't my soulmate. This wasn't my person. But when the girl get over it, and she get over it, and now she's already processed and healed, and she good. And meanwhile, where's that dude? Did the dude elevate? Like, is Papoose doing anything bigger? That's what I'm saying. Like, really look at what Remy had been saying from the beginning. It all is adding up in real time. And then now she looked like she's back to enjoying her life. And Papoose, at best, looks like he's at the same spot, if not lower. He talking about his songs about getting backdoored and a million people who will backdoor you and watch out for the snakes and people to backdoor you. It looked like he not over it. Claressa Shields, she looks like she has to artificially overdo it and dramatize their relationship. Oh, Pap, he upstairs. He love my cooking. How's my cooking, Pap? Like, there's videos of Papoose saying, man, I woke up and I wanted Remy spaghetti. Oh my gosh, the sauce. She make the spaghetti so good. I don't know what she do. Remy don't have to like beg him for a compliment. And to be honest, from looking at those text messages I showed you from the beginning, Claressa has seemed desperate, needy, and thirsty and fishing for a compliment from the beginning of this relationship. So women, let Claressa be a cautionary tale. If you got your life going together, definitely choose your man wisely, because Claressa, people were calling her the GWOAT. People were saying you might be the best ever. And then you got with one man, signed one deal with Win Records, and that career has not looked the same since. I'm sorry. Claressa has not looked the same since. She has grays in the top of her hair now. If you look closely, she's switching out her hair, you know, every other day. Why is she not? She said, I love my natural look. Why is she not why is she not wearing her normal hair? Why is she gluing in a bunch of wigs? Why do you look like you were in Aruba and in your makeup people were roasting you for it? Why does it look like there were portions of your trip where Papoose might have been there on a boat or horseback riding, like some cool stuff, but then there were also moments of your trip where it looked like you were ranting and eating by yourself? Like, who goes on a vacation and they're live streaming by themselves and their significant others on the trip with them, but kind of out of the frame? Remy warned this girl, and she thought she was competition or better or going to be gold love or whatever the case was. And I don't see it. I feel like everything Remy was saying, watch this guy, he's running circles around you. I feel bad for you. You should have run. You know, he fell asleep with you. He got other girls. He's selling you a dream. Let me guess. He's telling you he wants another kid. He's telling you he wants a son. You should probably trust the woman who spent that long, you know, that length of time with a person. And unlike you, she married and lived with that person. Claressa thought, oh, I'm Claressa Shields. I'm the GWOAT. So I got him under lock and key. He don't even really know you for real, comparatively speaking, right? Because again, like Remy said, when you were 10 and 13, she was either meeting him and dating him or getting married. She did a whole prison sentence, got out, and still got back with him initially for a period of time. You got a lot of catching up to do before you get to know the person as much as she does. And I think Claressa puts up with a whole lot. Like, how come he ain't divorced? How come she put out this video talking about I've had his clothes for a year when she put it out, right? I've had this man's clothes for a year, and then another year passes, he still ain't picked up his clothes. So he's not getting his tattoo removed or covered up, won't pick up his clothes to the point where she's adding it to her rap verse, right? The divorce still ain't final. This is everything everyone told you, including your own cousin, right? I know married men, they're going to tell you they're getting a divorce, but you never see it, right? So, yeah, this is why Claressa's brand has taken a major hit. You could try to laugh through the pain, but I feel like people lost respect for both you and Papoose. So that's where my research led. Let me know if you want part 2. I'll continue to do my research and give you my honest, transformative opinions. Subscribe, share the video. Let me know if I missed anything, and I'll try to cover it in part 2 if you guys request it.